Lesson in staying calm under relentless political pressure. Senator Bernie Sanders stormed into the hearing with fiery accusations about billionaires, tax cuts, and healthcare. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent never lost his composure. Instead of matching emotion—
Thanks, Mr. Bessent, for being here. Help me out here. My understanding is the Trump administration has, I think, 13 billionaires in office right now, leading government agencies. Is that about right, do you think?
I have no idea, Senator.
I think that's what the number is. Do you think it's a coincidence, given the large number of billionaires in the Trump administration, that this particular piece of legislation would provide $235 billion in tax breaks to the top 0.2% by expanding the exemptions in the estate tax?
Senator, I will tell you that when the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed, my tax rate went up.
Well, I don't know your exact situation, but I can tell you. Tell me about how many people do you think are in the top 0.2%?
Sorry?
Number of people in the top 0.2% who would benefit from this particular $235 billion tax break.
Well, I know the top 10% is
right.
now paying 7%.
That's not the question.
The total
my
tax.
question is, why do you think at a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality, when people like yourself economically have never ever had it so good, why do you think it's a good idea to cut Medicaid for low-income and working-class people by $700 billion to give $235 billion in tax breaks to the very, very, very richest people in this country, perhaps a few hundred families? Please justify that and tell me about that.
Well, Senator, I don't know, but the Democrats had the trifecta, and there was no tax increase or wealth tax on billionaires. You choose.
I'm not talking about a tax.
You chose not to do that.
Mr. Bessent, I am not talking about a wealth tax. Explain. A few hundred of the wealthiest families in this country, $235 billion tax break. Explain to the American people why you think that's a great idea.
I think that this will increase small businesses substantially. That most small businesses, they are—
Has zero to do with, come on, you're smarter than that. This is the top 0.2%. This is not a mom and pop store. These are multi-billionaires, and the savings go to their kids after they pass away. This is nothing more than a gift to billionaires in this country.
Well, sir, that's just not correct, because the top 10% paid a bigger share of taxes after TCJA.
I'm talking about one provision in this. I don't want to argue with you about taxes in general. One provision, few hundred families, $235 billion in tax breaks. You can't justify that because morally it is totally unjustifiable. Let me ask you another question. If you guys want to cut $1 trillion in Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, the estimate from CBO, I believe, is that over 15 million people lose their health insurance. Yale University and the University of Pennsylvania estimated that when you throw that many low-income and working-class people off of health care, some 50,000 people a year will die. Tell me why you think it's a good idea to give tax breaks to billionaires and allow 50,000 low-income and working-class people to die unnecessarily?
Senator, first of all, that's overstated by 5.1 million. That is not attributed to this bill. It is simply—
It's a combination. That's true.
No. You all had a scheduled expiration of Obamacare subsidies, and you did not extend that when you were in charge. 5.1 million. 1.4 million illegal aliens on Medicaid.
All right, look,
and there are work requirements. And our goal is to get more money to children and mothers.
Really? Your goal is to get more money to children, and working people. Really, come on. Do you know how many people, and I was surprised to hear this, I don't know if you know it or not, how many people lose their jobs every year, quit, or get fired or whatever? Do you have any idea?
Well, there's something called the quits rate, and so when the job market is strong, more people quit.
But yeah, I was surprised that I just researched this. I don't know. Do you happen to know?
I don't know the number.
I was surprised. Would it be shocking to you? It was to me. 20 million people leave their jobs a year. Doesn't shock you, right? It's a big labor force, right?
Yep.
So somebody leaves the job, maybe they move, maybe something happens in their lives, right? We have a lot of transition in the labor market, correct?
Maybe they get a better job.
Right, exactly, maybe they do. Or maybe they have to stay home, their wife gets sick, whatever, we don't know. But 20 million people lose their jobs in a given year, leave their jobs in a given year. Are those people lazy? What happens when I leave my job and maybe I have to move to another state to take care of my ill mother, and I desperately need Medicaid? Am I too lazy now to be able to get Medicaid?
I think that's a miscarriage.
No, let's break down what just happened. Bernie Sanders opened with the forceful attack, accusing Trump administration of delivering massive ethics benefits to the wealthiest Americans while slashing Medicaid. Scott Bessent never flinched, remaining calm from start to finish. He pushed back with his own experience, explaining that after 2017 tax reforms, his personal tax bill actually increased. While Bernie focused on statistics involving a small number of high-income families, Bessent shifted the conversation to the broader economy, arguing that the tax reforms encouraged business investment and that the highest earners ultimately paid a larger share of total federal taxes. As the hearing continued, Bernie changed course, warning that Medicaid reforms and the expiration of Affordable Care Act subsidies would leave millions without health care coverage. Once again, Bessent refused to be drawn into the heated rhetoric. He argued that the projections being cited were overstated and emphasized that many of the coverage changes were connected to subsidy expirations. He also defended policies such as work requirements and targeting gas assistance toward children, seniors, and working families, framing the debate around accountability and long-term sustainability. By the end of these change, the interest between two men was impossible to narrow. Bernie continued delivering passionate arguments, while Bessent maintained a calm, measured approach, answering each criticism without raising his voice. Whether viewers agreed with his conclusions or not, his composed demeanor remained consistent throughout the hearing. If I enjoy watching intense political hearings and detailed policy debates, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share our opinion in the comments. What did you think of Scott Bessent's performance against Bernie Sanders during